Are you waiting for something that's never going to happen? Find out on today's episode.
Today's episode is brought to you by Social Pilot, the social media and marketing tool for bloggers and small businesses. Join over 20,000 social media pros at servenomaster.com/socialpilot today.
Are you tired of dealing with your boss? Do you feel underpaid and underappreciated? If you want to make it online, fire your boss and start living your retirement dreams now, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Serve No Master Podcast, where you'll learn how to open new revenue streams and make money while you sleep. Presented live from a tropical island in the South Pacific by best-selling author Jonathan Green. Now, here's your host.
I'm so pleased with how yesterday's episode turned out that I'm back outside again, sitting on a little dock right in front of my house, watching the tide roll in. As a big Otis Redding fan and also of the Pearl Jam cover, I do enjoy relaxing in this environment. Hopefully you can hear a little bit of the peaceful water in the background as I share a really special lesson with you today. I appreciate you spending time with me, and I want to take these lessons to the next level, these special episodes. Today we're really talking about something that gets so many people stuck. There's this old story that I've heard many, many times, and I repeat it in several different places throughout my books, and I think it's very appropriate. There's a story about someone, and they're in a flood, they're on top of their house, and they keep praying for a miracle. And someone comes by in a boat, on a little kayak, and they say, no, God promised he's going to save me. Thank you, but I don't want to ride in your kayak. Then later on, a speedboat comes by, and the speedboat rolls up, and the person on top of the house, the man or the woman says, no, thank you for bringing the speedboat, but God promised he's going to save me. I'm waiting for a miracle. Finally, the water's up to his feet, sitting on the roof, and a helicopter pulls up. And the helicopter drops a ladder down, and the man says, quick, jump on the ladder, we're going to save you. He goes, no, I'm waiting for a miracle. God promised a miracle. And finally, he drowns. And when he gets to heaven, he says to God, what are you doing? You promised you would save me. And God goes, I sent a kayak, a speedboat, and a helicopter. What do you want? Sometimes we're so busy looking for that big miracle, that one big play that's going to change everything, we miss all the small opportunities in front of us. We miss the real chances we have to bring prosperity into our lives. We've become a culture, we've become people that are so obsessed with this idea of winning the lottery or writing that one big hit song. We go all in on our life strategies. I have a lot of friends who thought they were going to become professional athletes. Of all of my friends from high school who thought they were going to become professional athletes, none of them did. It was one of the other guys. One guy from my high school eventually did, won a Super Bowl, went the whole shebang. He was the one guy who didn't think it was going to happen for him. And even now, same age as me, mid-30s, his career is over. He'll never play football again. You can't play football forever. He had an exit strategy. He finished the NFL and already had an MBA in place. He went to school while playing in the NFL. No one else does that. We have this idea of how we want to become wealthy, of how we want our lives to play out. And when other opportunities come our way, we just blow them off. And we become people who depend upon an external factor to save us. You don't control if you win the lottery. It's a high-risk proposition that depends on a third party to make a choice and to choose you. The same thing for beautiful people who want to become models or people who want to become singers. Most of that career is outside your choice. I was watching one of those talent shows, the American one. I love watching talent shows because I love people that are excellent. All 10 people in the finals were absolutely amazing. They were so good at all these different areas. And one person walks away with $1 million and the other 9 walk away with nothing. You can be one of the best in the world at what you do. But the more control you give to other people over your destiny, the less likely it is to ever happen. We're waiting for that person to come and save us, the big job opportunity, the big raise, the big amazing thing, and we miss it so often. I can tell you right now that I've missed some big opportunities in my life. We don't recognize them for big opportunities at the time. They seem like small things. We want to be people who have a plan to achieving success rather than waiting for someone else to do it for us, waiting for someone else to help us become this, help us become that, show us what to do, save us. I go to conferences all the time, and there are so many people at live conferences when I go to them, when I do go to live conferences. I've been to so many, and I meet people who all are looking for someone there to save them, and they reek of desperation. Nobody wants to save you. It's the same thing that people in the dating world experience. When you're desperate, no one wants you. In business, it's the exact same thing. When you reek of desperation, when you're hoping for someone else to save you, when your entire business plan depends upon luck or a factor you don't control, the odds of you succeeding and the odds of anyone wanting to do business with you drop to the floor. Depending upon luck, depending upon hope, depending upon someone else, those are not business methodologies that I believe in. I believe that you can and should take complete and total responsibility for your destiny and take control of your path. I'm responsible for every business success and every business failure. I'm responsible for the fact that I'm sitting on this dock right now and I did not realize that high tide was rolling in. The water's getting higher. It's already blasting past my feet and the waves have just gotten a lot louder. I'm probably gonna have to walk back through waves when I get off this little dock because it's a beachside dock. It's not someone else's fault. It's really splashing. It's so wild. This is the life you could have. You could have a life where you're in total control of your destiny. So many things are possible. When we wait for an external force to change our destiny, to make our dreams come true, we're giving up more and more of our power. And you could be somewhere on the spectrum. You could just be working really hard and hoping your boss notices and gives you a raise. Or you could be someone who invests most of your money in the lottery. It just depends how much luck is a factor in your path to success. For some people it's 100% and some people it's just 20 or 30%. The more of your power you give away, the less ability you have to alter your destiny. The universe, if you believe in the law of attraction or karma, however you see it, rewards action. I'm not where I am right now because of anything that came from my parents, anything that came from luck. I'm here where I am right now, sitting in paradise, recording a podcast episode, spending some special time with you. Pretty much as good as it gets. This is as good as I ever imagined my life ever getting because of hard work and sacrifice. When you take responsibility for your destiny, everything changes because you suddenly become limitless. If you're responsible for where you are right now, then you're capable of changing where your future goes. The things I share with you on Serve No Master, the things I share with you in this podcast, in my book, in my new book coming out soon, Breaking Orbit, they all work. The only thing required to make the machines I share with you operate is the fuel of your effort. My systems are perfect profit-making machines. Only ingredient required is effort, energy, trying. I meet a lot of people who are waiting for that one big move. They only want to make money a certain way. They don't want the boat, they don't want the speedboat, they don't want the helicopter. It has to be a miracle. It has to be this a big, amazing play, going all in. And this really builds on the previous episode, yesterday's episode. I talked about startups. Startups are really a form of gambling. There are a lot of brilliant ideas, brilliant startups, brilliant products that don't go anywhere. You spend years of your life going all in on something, and you're sitting there in a meeting hoping for investment. If you don't get the investment, your product dies. There's an external factor that has a great deal of power over you. And the truth is, with my blog, with this podcast, with my books, it's all a democracy. You get a vote. You can leave a bad review for this podcast or one of my books. You can affect the trajectory of my financial success. That's just reality. As a reader, as a listener, my job is to both entertain you, but also to help you. This podcast, and I was on a meeting today, this podcast really isn't designed to be a profit maker. It's not a heavy profit-driven podcast. It's really about creating engagement. It's actually designed to increase our connection and to give you lots and lots of material. It's a different way of blogging. I really enjoy creating content this way and it's fun for me, but you'll notice I'm not hard pressing products. I'm not trying to get more and more advertisers. I don't need to do any of those things. We already have a connection. The odds are if you're listening to this podcast, you've read one of my books on Amazon, so you're already a customer. I don't need to ask you for more money. My business doesn't depend on that. I'm in control of the path of my destiny. Everything I do is intentional, and because I have that level of control, I can make decisions about what I want to do and how I want to go forward. There's nothing I hated more when I was younger, in college. I'll never forget when this happened. I was in college at a rave. I used to go to a lot of raves. I DJ'd around the world. I'm very into electronic music. I've been to so many festivals. I was at this rave with around 5,000 people, and walking around, I saw another guy wearing the exact same t-shirt as me. And boy, did it fill me with hate. I used to buy my t-shirts from an underground comic book shop behind a grocery store. If you didn't know it was there, you'd never know it. It was the worst advertised business in the whole world. You had to go down this dark, scary alley behind a scary grocery store to find this dirty comic book shop. I never went in there and saw another customer. It was always the only customer. So seeing someone else wearing one of my shirts, it made me go crazy. And eventually, actually, that brand of shirts became so popular you could buy them in every store in the mall. I had to change what I was wearing. I wanted to be ahead of the curve. I didn't want to be part of the curve. We have this desire, and it's a big part of American and Western culture to be individuals. And it's becoming more and more part of our politics, the idea that we're each a special, unique, individual snowflake. But it's not true. I wish it was, but it's not. There are hundreds of guys very similar to me teaching material that's very similar to me. Now, most of them would probably go out there and claim they're the one of a kind, but it's not true. I know about 10 other guys teaching Kindle systems that work. They just teach it in a different way, and they have a different methodology, and some of their stuff I don't like, and some of it I do. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. To pretend I'm the only person in the world would be disingenuous. Sometimes I'm talking to one of my customers. I respond to every email and Skype message I get, and sometimes someone reaches out to me, and they're talking about this other piece of competition, they're shocked that I know about it. Of course I know about it. I don't live in a bubble. I don't live in an imaginary world where I'm the only person doing well on Kindle. I don't live in an imaginary world where I'm the only person that creates products for ClickBank, or I'm the only person that does work in the parenting space. Creating an artificial reality inside your head, it's not going to help your business. The more you accept reality, the more you accept the way the world is. You're not as special as you think. You're not as unique as you think. There are plenty of people that look like me. I've been mistaken for quite a few celebrities, none of them good. I've been mistaken for Silent Bob, Kevin Smith, when he had really long hair, dirty beard, and was super fat. I've had a girl walk up to me and think that I was Kevin Smith. Did not make me feel good. Even though he is a great podcaster, he's doing very well in the podcast space, and he's written some great movies, it's not who I want to look like. I've also been mistaken for a race car driver. I forget the guy's name, but when I looked him up, it was another fat guy. I always get mistaken for famous fat people, never for anyone famous and good looking. You look like someone else. We all do. We all have thoughts that other people have. We all have ideas that other people have. The thing that separates us and the thing that creates the greatest opportunity for you to change your life and change your destiny is that most of those people take no action. I can't tell you how many people I meet every single week who tell me that they are a writer or want to be a writer or they've written part of a book. I think I've met less than 5 people in my entire life that have actually completed a book and launched it, released it into the wild. It's the effort that separates us. It's not our desires, it's not our hopes and dreams. Every single person that reads one of my books, listens to my podcast, visits my blog, desires financial success. They have the same desires you do. But unfortunately, most people won't take action. 90% of people that pick up a book never finish it. Not just my book, but any book. Most people have read less than 1 book in the last 12 months. We're shifting as a culture to becoming lazier and lazier and constantly expecting other people to solve our problems. Whether we look at our approach to politics, our approach to education, we always think it's someone else's job to fix things. I hear that all the time. Oh, did you hear that one? I definitely have to stand up on this dock. It just got crazy. The tide is super rolling in. Oh yeah, I'm out to sea now. We're having a real adventure, but I'm definitely gonna get through this episode before I try and escape to home. What I want you to realize is that there's not some superhero, some business hero, some miracle worker who's gonna come and save you. The longer you wait for that, the longer you're gonna be pushing away your possible destiny. When I wrote my first book for Kindle, when I put that together, I had the cover done, everything done. I waited 2 years before I uploaded it to Amazon. During those 2 years, I did nothing. I just procrastinated and waited. I was waiting for someone to show me the path. I don't know. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. When you're waiting for someone else to save you, when you're expecting some hero to show up and save the day and show you the perfect product or show you the perfect path, it's not gonna happen. My products aren't perfect. My courses are not perfect. My blog posts and my method is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Perfection is hard to achieve. If you go through my courses and put in effort, you're gonna run into bumpy points. You're gonna get stuck somewhere, have trouble with this or have trouble with that, or you're gonna struggle with a certain part of creating your first blog or writing your first blog post. Everyone runs into those bumps. I wish I could create a path that was so perfect there were no challenges. But you have to put in effort. And any point where you get stuck, you can email me. I get several emails a week right now, 3 or 4 from someone who says, I'm calling you out to see if you really reply to your emails. And I always do. I love getting those emails because those people I know are the ones I can help the most because they're so dedicated. They're willing to put in that first effort to find out. And I'm here to help you. I'm a resource. I'm someone who loves communicating with my audience, with my fan base. I check my email every morning. It's the first thing I do. I love talking to people and finding out where they're going in their path. But if you're waiting for me to show up at your house, write a book for you, create the perfect cover, and publish it inside your Amazon account, no one does that. I'm happy to show you the path and I'm here to guide you, but your own effort, that's the fuel. That's what will get your engine going. And that's what will give you the life you really deserve. It's your job to take the information out there, the stuff from me and from other people, and save yourself. If you keep waiting to get discovered, if you keep walking through malls hoping a model agent or a director is going to discover you, you're going to be struggling. That happens, but it happens so rarely. I have so many friends who in high school, they were depending on the sports thing, other friends who were sure they were going to make it as a rapper. You know, they want to be a musician, and so few musicians make it through. It has almost nothing to do with talent. There's plenty of very successful musicians that aren't talented. And there's plenty of phenomenal musicians that no one's ever heard of. Talent's simply not enough. Any industry where luck is a factor, it's not the path you want to go down. You need to take your own destiny by your hands. I never became successful with books until I stopped waiting for a publishing house or an editor or an agent to save me. In this world, in our current society, in this structure, you got to take care of yourself. You have to write your own books, publish your own books, take your destiny in your own hands. And as long as you follow my path, I'm here to help you. I can't save you. I wish that I could. I wish I had the ability to save every single person. But a lot of people listen to this podcast, a lot of people read my blog, and a lot of people read my books. If I could save every person, I would. I don't hide anything. My new book is coming out, Breaking Orbit. It's coming out in the next 2 weeks. It's already written. It's already partially released. Out there getting reviews from a few people. It covers my entire Amazon process. Unlike a lot of other books out there, I'm not hiding stuff. To get your first book launched, it covers everything. If you got Kindle Unlimited, you can grab that book for free and learn my whole method. I don't hide stuff. I don't need to. I'm already successful. I want to give you the same path. If you follow what I'm doing, stick to one path, whether it's starting your own SEO local consulting business, whether it's starting the copywriting path, whether it's becoming a Kindle author, whether it's moving into editing for other people or publishing. Some people have been asking me about that. Whether you're going into t-shirts or Amazon physical products, there's a lot of paths you can go down. Find one path, find a single system that works, and stick with it until you make money. You've heard this message from me before for a reason. It works. Most products, most courses about how to make money online work. The problem is not the course, the problem is implementation. The majority of people who complain about a product, how it doesn't work, never actually implemented it. And that's where you can separate yourself from the crowd. That's where you can become special again. You can be your own hero. I'm 35 years old. I've got 2 kids. I support my girlfriend, her entire family. I support our kids. I have a lot of people counting on me. I can't afford to outsource their hope. I can't afford to depend on someone else to take care of my family. That's my responsibility. That's the agreement I made when I started building this family. And you're in the same position. Whether you're a single mom, you're a mom at home just trying to raise your kids, you're a dad who wants to spend more time with your family and quit, or you're a young guy, young girl who doesn't want to enter the traditional workforce, wherever your position is, the sooner you take responsibility for your destiny, the more control you have. When I was younger, I went through so many brutal interviews. I never understood the interview process. I lost jobs where I was far more qualified than the other person because I didn't understand the system. And once I understood the interview system, I realized any job where I get into the interview, I can get the job now because I know how to manipulate that system. But you're depending on someone else to decide whether or not you're worthy of having a job. It's so much control over your destiny. That's why I don't like that part of the workforce. I don't like that structure. I want to be in charge of my own destiny. And you can do the same thing. You don't need to wait for someone else to save you. You don't need to wait for a magic solution. The fact that you're listening to this podcast right now tells me you have all the information you need. Throughout my blog post, throughout my website, there's enough free material to show you exactly how to make $100 in the next 7 days. And you can use that $100 to buy my first course, my Words to Profit Mastery course, and make $1,000 by the end of the month. The only thing standing between you and making real money is actually doing it. Part of it could be belief. Maybe you don't think that my stuff really works. Maybe you don't think my system really works. I get those. Like everyone else, I occasionally get those reviews. I've never gotten a negative review from someone who actually tried what I teach. It's the people who don't try, write negative reviews, because their negative review justifies their inaction. When you hear my message, you have 2 choices. You can either take action and change your life, or you can reject my message. Because if you accept my message but don't take my advice, then you're responsible for your own downfall, and no one's ego can take that. That's where those negative reviews come from. They never come from people that tried. Because if you try, it works. 100%. If you follow my simple article writing method, you can get a job writing articles today. You can make $20 today, easily, if you just put in an hour. You just have to try. If you trust me, if you put in the effort, if you try, you'll start making money and you'll become a complete and total absolute believer. So stop waiting for someone else to save you and start taking responsibility for your own destiny. That's how you become the hero of your own movie.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Serve No Master. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. We'll be back tomorrow with more tips and tactics on how to escape that rat race. Head over to servenomaster.com/podcasts now for your chance to win a free copy of Jonathan's bestseller, Serve No Master. All you have to do is leave a 5-star review of this podcast. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Serve No Master podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.